I don't think there's anything we can do about it because he was your boyfriend.
Shut the F up, you effing N-word. Yeah.
You only have 3 months to live. When I went to the doctor and he said I only had 3 more months to live. And it was 5 months ago, so I'm waiting. I have a rare type of tumor. It's a type of lymphoma. It's like a blood tumor, blood cancer. The life expectancy is very low. But
I was at a party and I had been given a lot of alcohol and I had ended up in the hospital, and the police officer told me I don't think there's anything we can do about this because he was your boyfriend and juries don't usually go for convictions when it's someone you trust. Growing up, you look back and you reflect and you think, there's things that like they happen to you, but they make you stronger as a person. So you kind of have to take it as a learning tool and just move on and know that you're stronger because of it.
I think I was in 4th grade. I was on the school bus. I was talking to my friend and he was just like, shut the F up, you effing N-word. Yeah.
A while back, my father and I got into a pretty intense argument, and he told me that he was, ashamed to have me as his son, and that really hit me, hard. And it's, to this day, I still think about that and use that to kind of motivate me to be better and try to build a relationship with him again.
Why aren't you smart enough?
And who said that?
My mother. I was working on math homework and I was probably in 4th grade and I couldn't figure out a question. And she straight up asked me that. And now that I have him, I would never say that to my kid, ever.
I was in Mississippi in 1996, a place called Moss Point. A little Caucasian boy with his father called me the N-word inside of McDonald's. The most painful thing anyone has ever said to me. Dad didn't say anything. Matter of fact, it was kind of crazy because I was more mad at the dad than I was at the little boy.
Being away from you has been so good for me and my mental health.
I can't spend time with you, Sky. How bad your mental health is makes you just a tiring person to be around.
I don't love you.
I'm no longer in love with you.
Let's just be friends.
I love you, but you're not what I want. I'm not sure if I'm in love with you.
It wasn't real.
No one could ever love you. You're too broken. It was kind of a way for him to make me feel trapped in the relationship. Because if he could convince me that nobody could ever love me, I would accept what he was giving me, which wasn't love.
It's over? Yeah, like breaking up with me, like they say, like it's over. A few tears fell down, and that's it. I didn't know how to act. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't want to start crying out here again.
You should be grateful that I'm even giving you attention because you're fat and no one will love you anyway. A guy that I was dating tried to go too far on the second date.
You were an accident. My dad, he was playing, but that make a mark in my life. So.
What's the most painful thing someone has said to you?
That I was going to lose my left leg.
You're too loud. Made me feel scared to be myself and I needed to hide who I am as a person.
I was in 3rd grade and there was this girl who, I think it was the end of the year, this girl who I liked. I overheard her talking with one of her friends and it's like, oh, do you like Dan? And she's like, oh, no, he's fat. And she didn't know I was there and she didn't know I saw it. But it just stayed with me. I remember just being totally crushed.
One of my students asked me why I was even a teacher, because I was failing at my job. I think that might be it. One of my own kids just, yeah, why are you even here?
I didn't know anyone at my new school. I was in 3rd grade, and this boy, his name was Scott.
if you're watching, he walked by my desk and he tapped my desk to get my attention, and he pointed at me and he said, "You're stupid." And that hurt. So, I think I cried, and I didn't want to go to school for a while, and the teacher didn't notice. And
just growing up, my dad told me that I could never do anything and that I would never be able to do anything, and I could never leave the house that I grew up in, and I left, obviously, and now I'm doing great things and now I'm helping other people, so I proved him wrong. I've overcome that.
Probably something my dad has said to me, because he said some really not nice things to me before.
Was that your sister that went before you?
That's my sister, yeah. Yeah, we're actually all sisters, we're triplets. So she was saying, like, I'm curious to see what your answer would be, because she might have had a similar answer to me, and my other sister might have a similar answer to us. Actually, no, I think I might change my answer, because, okay, so my mom and I have always been really close, but I went through a hard time when I was like in high school, and she was kind of like the person I leaned on to help me through it. And at one point she was like, I was complaining to her about the thing I was going through. I was sick, I was in the hospital, so that's why I was complaining. It wasn't like my boyfriend broke up with me or whatever. And she was like, God, like, stop complaining, I'm so sick of you. And I didn't expect her to say that, and it made me so upset. And we didn't have the same relationship for like years after that, but I think it hurt me the most because I didn't expect it to come from her, you know? So even though I expect my dad to say some mean shit to me, you know what I mean? Like, he's just kind of, he's just that way, so it doesn't hurt as much, but when it came from her, I was like, that hurt. So that's probably the worst, I would say. I'm sick of you.
I used to have really bad acne, and so I had a lot of scarring, and I remember one day I wanted to work without makeup, and my boss told me, oh, you look like, you know, like you do drugs, like you've been picking at your face. And it was so painful for me, and beyond that point, that's when I became obsessed with makeup. And I couldn't, for a long time, I couldn't go out of the house without makeup. And even now, I still struggle going out of the house with makeup, but I feel like slowly I'm gonna heal from that. And slowly the words will just become meaningless, but they were very impactful to me and still continue to be impactful to me.
So I think the most painful thing someone said to me is that my face is fat because I have really big cheeks and I smile a lot. But yeah, they didn't like that, so they were like, your face is fat. So that was kind of hurtful to me because I felt like that was my trademark, like, you know, my cheeks are my trademark. So
well, somebody called me the B word in front of like a lot of people, like on social media, and she didn't like cover the name or anything. It caused a lot of people to have like a different look on me, so yeah.
When I was little in like 3rd grade, there's these kids, because I used to only hang out with boys, like I like played basketball and things like that, and then this like one kid used to say that like I was like, who just said that I was a boy and said that I'd only hang out with boys because I'm a boy, and it was just really annoying. And yeah.
I hadn't spoken to my dad in about 8 months, so I called him, and he said he was at work, he works abroad, and he said, I'm at work right now, I'm gonna call you later. And that was about 7 months ago, and I never got a call back, so I'd say in retrospect that is like a hard pill to swallow, so that would be my answer.
This kid named Devin, he called me a pig and told me that he didn't like me.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel really sad, like really sad.
Oh.
So my dad had passed away in like 2009, and I was being really mean to this girl, and I was like 9 years old, and then she's like, that's why your dad died, because I was being mean to her. So that's the meanest thing someone has said to me.
We don't want you around anymore. I was like 13, and I had really cool neighbors that I loved very much, and I couldn't be at home because at home was hard, and they were like my home for me. But then it was just too much for them. They already had a family, and it was too much to take on somebody else who even just hung around. So that was probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced, you know, but it did teach me a lot. It teaches me a lot about how making home in myself is good.
My ex-husband was a drug addict, alcoholic, and he was extremely emotionally and mentally and verbally abusive, as well as physically abusive. And he used to tell me all the time that I'm stupid. And that's 100% the most painful thing anyone can say to me, because I pride myself on my intellect and my intelligence, and it's the thing that I think I'm best at. So he knew that was the thing that would get me. So he would say it almost daily: "You're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid."
The most painful thing that anyone has ever said to me, I was 12, I had an accident. My grandfather was driving a boat, my leg got hit by the propeller. My grandmother yelled it when they were bringing me up to the back of the house after the accident, and she said, "Who in the brought her here?" Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well.
I think I do feel better.